You want to talk like a cop? Well, stay tuned. I'm going to give you a few examples to help get you started. Yes, there is such a thing as talking like a cop. And most cops don't even realize it until somebody points it out to them. Sometimes it makes sense, like when an officer is giving an update on traffic or a very tragic situation. But sometimes cops talk like cops because that's what they've seen on TV or the media their entire lives. And so they do it. Even when it doesn't sound quite right to them or natural coming from them, they do it anyways.
What kind of expression is that? I don't know, sir. Police lingo.
All right, now just stay with me for a minute here, okay? This is going to make sense. First example, a theft or a robbery took place, and this is the police giving an official update. After obtaining a large quantity of merchandise, the male suspect exited the premise. They entered a vehicle and proceeded east on Queen Street at a high rate of speed. The suspect appears to have lost control of the vehicle, at which point they became involved in a collision. The suspect then exited the vehicle and proceeded northbound on Main Street on foot. The male suspect is still outstanding at this time. Now, what did that cop just say? Well, let me make it easy, okay? The suspect committed theft or robbery, took off in his car and crashed it and ran up the street. We still haven't found him. No clue where he is. It's basically the same thing. But the question is, which one did you like better? Which one was easier to understand? Which one would you rather listen to on your drive home or when you're watching the news at night? Not that anybody does that anymore. All right, number 2. So this is something that cops and especially dispatchers do without even thinking about it after a while. And these are things that slip when talking to family members. Like if I'm talking to my mom, I'm going to go to her house and she's asking me where I am and if I'm coming over for dinner or something like that. Okay? Now, most people would just say, yeah, Mom, I'm just driving through Toronto, depending on traffic, hope to be there in an hour or so. But no, what a police officer or a dispatcher would say is, well, I'm just driving northbound on the DVP, and I witnessed some heavy traffic in both directions on the 401, so I continued north until the 407. I'm currently traveling westbound on the 407. Traffic's relatively light. My ETA should be around 90 minutes or so. I'll give you an update as soon as I approach your area. I mean, I'm sure there's other professions who would do the same thing. Emergency services, of course, alarm response, maybe truckers. Now, believe it or not, this whole cop lingo, it can get some police officers into trouble, especially if they're working plainclothes or undercover. It's actually very difficult to turn on that cop brain off. When you're testifying in court, giving evidence, maybe writing up reports, you're always in the zone. As you may have heard, policing, it becomes part of your life, part of your identity. So you talk that way, but it's very, very tough to turn off. So let me give you an example. And I actually made a TikTok about this a couple years ago. And this is if you're really undercover, okay? Let's say you're dealing with some people and you tell them you'll meet them by your car or their car or truck or motorcycle. You get my drift. But instead of saying car, you say vehicle. You say, let's go to my vehicle. You just gave yourself up. Any criminal is going to instantly know that you're a cop. Nobody says vehicle. And they're hyper aware in that situation.
You wanna buy a 8?
So this could be the same with selling illegal contraband. I mean, who says that anyways? Most people don't know what contraband is or illegal substances. The only time you hear words or phrases like that is at a police press conference or some other big drug bust or something. Most plainclothes or undercover cops know these things, but like I said, it could be very, very easy to slip off. It's hard to turn that brain off. Police communication, it's very brief. It's to the point. Little or no room for ambiguity at all. Practice speaking clearly and directly. Friends and family members have often remarked to me that I don't even ask questions. I tend to interrogate. So somebody will say something to me, maybe tell me a story, something fun that happened to them throughout the day, and I'll ask for more details about what took place. I almost paint an image in my mind. And if something doesn't make sense or seem right to me, or I feel like they're leaving something out, I ask follow-up questions. And not always, it's not a good way to be. The person you're talking to doesn't always think in the same terms that you do. And what may have been just a quick, fun little story turns into a full-out interrogation. I mean, who wants to deal with that all the time? Anyways, next time you see a press conference or listen to a news update, pay attention. You'll see exactly what I mean. And if they've been doing it for a while, the police officer, it'll come naturally. But if they're newer, they struggle because, again, subconsciously, they know they need to sound the exact same way that other police spokespeople have sounded on media and television their entire lives. Even though I think most of the public prefer plain language. I actually released a video a few months back about communicating for police officers and first responders. Please check it out. I included a fun little game that could be for anybody, not just those interested in the career in law enforcement or emergency services. It's something you can start right away. And your kids can learn as well. Again, you can make it into a little bit of a game, but everybody can learn it because it will increase their communication skills. Anyways, folks, thank you very much for watching this video. And until the next one, be safe out there, look after one another, and perhaps we will see you again.